Normally, we would start with podcasts every day in either April or August. However, we had to push back. So we're calling it PEDS, or Podcast Every Day in September, where you'll hear various topics that will likely have nothing to do with sports, but you'll definitely get a good feel of what's going on in the world thanks to PEDS. What's going on, y'all? This is the Paz here with yet another episode. Not gonna really do a whole lot of long-winded discussion tonight. It is kind of late. Normally this would kind of go into that infamous podcast after dark queue, but it's just, like I said, since I'm working a later schedule, there will be some mods tomorrow. I think my format of how I'm looking at it is, if there's any day that I'm working my normal shift, which is at 3 to 11, then I'll do it before I go into work. And if it's the earlier shift, then I'll just record after I get off. But I'm not gonna really didn't come to tell you any of that. I'm just doing this as somewhat of a birthday podcast, but also as a reflection of just my life and my journey and just an overall transition for me. I will tell you all that I can't speak for anyone else, but for me, my biggest focus or my biggest focal point has been about just being at peace and remaining calm and just getting through certain things and learning not to really get myself angered over those things that literally I have no control over. I feel as though by nature we put more on us than we really need to. And a perfect example of me looking at that is my message that I shared as my statement, I guess, because usually I always do like a end of year message to tell people what I'm working on for the following year. And more than likely this one is for my birthday, but it's going to definitely carry into 2019. And that is just to focus on myself. So I'm saying that for me, but I'm also telling those of you who are listening to take more time for you and not to donate. I think by nature, we find ourselves donating so much of our time to everyone else that we really don't give ourselves enough time in the day. We naturally are guilty of complaining that there's enough time in the day. We should be doing more things, etc., 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 etc. But in reality, we just aren't putting our focus on what's important, and what should be important, we don't make important. And that's our own sanity or our own peace of mind. I have hit points where I felt at my lowest. I don't really speak on it a lot, only because I've just learned to naturally fight through it. If you go back and really retain or look at the times when I was doing the podcast every day in April, it hit at a very unexpected point, because at that particular point, I basically had lost my job where I was working. Not gonna really give any info beyond that, but here it is now. Things have changed a little bit. Scheduling wise, I wasn't sure how I would be doing these every day, but then I was able to kind of get a format and also get a groove of my schedule, which worked in my advantage. So I'm just saying all of that to just tell everyone treats their big day or their birthday or whatever differently. For me, it's not really that it's just another day on the calendar, but it's more just me leading into a different phase of myself and knowing what's important and what's relevant at the end of the day. I think some things you're going to get upset about, you're going to send yourself through a mental motion about, that's uncontrollable, but it's also helpful to know when to let others see you sweat, and when you come out better, just mainly handling life and what comes with it. And to add to that, because I feel like it's very important to note, it really is the true definition of easier said than done, because everyone deals with what comes or doesn't come their way differently. So I'm not really going to do this as a very long-winded podcast tonight. I'm just here to tell everyone, if you're feeling like you're at your lowest, take time, just sit back and really humble yourself and look at how far you've come. Every day in your life may seem like you're failing or you're not getting things achieved. But if you're getting up and you're doing things to progress yourself, then you're not fully lost. You're not fully behind. And that's just a message that I'm leaving with you all. It was shared with me in a much different context. So I'm kind of mediating it as I always do. But know what's important to you, and what's yours is yours. I said this before, I'm saying it again. Value your aura. You're going to hear me say this a lot during the podcast every day in September, because we really and truly don't get the gist of how important it is to really value who we are and where we're going in our lives and in our future. So that's what I'm leaving y'all with today. Thanks for tuning in. Check out the shows on Spreaker.com. Episodes are uploaded each week, or now for this segment each day. And the microphone that I'm using is the Blue Yeti. If you have not had a chance, definitely listen to episode 206. I give a little bit of an overview about the new Blue Yeti Nano. So if you're looking to start out with podcasting, I would definitely recommend that. And I'll be giving some more tips, some podcasting tidbits within the Peds flow. So until then, or until next time, y'all take it easy. That's it for our show. Thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to go back and listen to any previous episode, you can go to Spreaker.com/BrideTape or you can go to pastpodcast.com, where you can listen to all of the latest shows as well as shows from when this podcast first began. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, the Past signing out.